Hello, New York City. I'm here with the man, the myth, and the probably soon-to-be legend, Thomas LaPointe. I think that's how it's pronounced. Is that how you pronounce your last
Yes,
name?
that is good. Thank you.
Thomas LaPointe, right? Is it is that surname French or?
Yes, it's French. I from my dad's side, I'm French. Yes.
Yeah, no. As you
I
know.
can't speak any though. I can't speak any. So
Uh,
don't ask.
you're not going to say any you're not going to say any funny French words here.
No wee wee.
No, no, we you
None of
can't
that.
you can't you
No.
can't, you can't say any funny French words. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry to disappoint you. This interview is now officially a failure. All right, so I have I have a couple of questions here. I think around like 19 or so. I think that's
Oh,
yeah, 19.
pretty.
Yeah, that's a lot. But probably the most questions I think I've ever prepared. Even even Jay Manson had less questions than this.
Wow.
Yeah, so if any of these make you uncomfortable, or you just don't want to answer them, then do feel free to let me know, and I'll just skip over them, and that's
All
that.
right.
All right, so
All right.
question number one: Who are you? Who is this
My
so-called
name.
Who is this so-called Thomas LaPointe?
My name is Thomas LaPointe. Well, I was born in. I guess we gotta start from the very beginning. I was born in 2007. Same as you. I'm
Yeah.
18. Um, I'm I'm a I call myself a musician. Some people may not know me as that, but I am a musician. I'm a writer. I'm an artist. I direct movies, short films sometimes. So I do kind of all kinds of things. I'm not limited to just one thing, but I make music. I've been making music for a long time. I've actually been making music since around maybe 2018 when I was like, geez, a stupid 9-year-old kid
When,
just playing on his drum set and playing organ, and did not
when
come out very well. But here I am now. So I guess
yeah.
that's the start of my story.
Yes, yes. Well, speaking of which, speaking of you making music at a young age, this was actually going to be my next question. What drove you to making music at such a young age? At like what, 10 years old?
Yeah,
What drove you to that?
I always would hear my parents playing the rock radio station, and I felt very inspired by it. I was very inspired and just enthralled in what these very famous musicians and bands were doing. I was super into Rush, a lot of old stuff. Super into Rush, David Bowie, the Beatles. Beatles definitely one of them. Huge, huge for me. Still huge for me. But I was just so enthralled in older music and just seeing if I could take that and try to do it myself. I remember this is so funny. I remember when I was younger, I had such a huge imagination, so such insane creativity. I would take a lot of old CDs and rip out the cover arts and just put my own in for the CDs. I would draw, I would doodle, I would do whatever. I would draw like a huge portrait or something and make it the cover art.
The
And I would, and then one time I remember my father. He saw all of he. I had like all these cover arts that I had drawn in like a bin. It was kind of like a garbage bin. So he thought it was garbage and he threw it out.
oh,
And I come to find I'm like
oh.
8 years old and I'm like crying because I see all of my beautiful little stupid cover arts in the garbage, and I'm like, why did you do this to me?
Oh god. Yeah, I was about to ask actually if you still had any of them lying around.
Oh no, they're long gone. I
No.
I took them out of the trash years ago, but they're very much long gone now.
What happened to them?
I don't know. They got lost in moving. Some of them I threw out. Um,
Oh.
they were very delicate. They were all on paper, so a lot of them probably got water damage pretty badly, and just. But they were very very funny to reminisce about, and very crude though. They were very crudely drawn. But I remember one time I did like kind of like a Dark Side of the Moon triangle cover, and that was it. There was an album called The End of the Beginning that I had made
Yeah.
when I was very young, and I don't think I even started to record it, but I just made the cover art for it and the track list and everything. But I was very creative at a young age like that. I was very interested in that kind of thing.
I see. I see. Well, there's actually a question that I removed here, but now I'm actually kind of wondering now that you've kind of brought it up. But did you record any music around that time or no?
Yes and no. Um, everything that I recorded around that time again is long gone.
No.
I know in 2018, this is an interesting one. In 2018, I recorded, as I said before, I would play on drums, organ, whatever I could find. I had a really terrible sounding drum set. The tuning was awful on it. It was just trash, awful, trashy drum set. But I had it. It was cheap. Um, I had like a little like chord organ. I would smash on the drums, play the organ, then sing. I was a terrible singer back then because I was like 9 years old or whatever. But it was in 2018, and I remember the cover art was a thing I I was playing Roblox because as 9-year-olds do in 2018.
Yeah.
I was playing Roblox, and I think I had like a skeleton character or something. I took a screenshot of it, and I made like edits to the photo, the screenshot, and it was like bright red blood. So it was like a bloody skeleton from Roblox. It was so stupid. But it was like a 30-minute album of me really badly playing drums, really badly playing organ, and really, really badly singing. Obviously now I'm better at those things, but when you're a 8-year-old kid trying to make music like the Beatles did, I don't think it really turns out all that nice. But I remember, this is a funny story.
Yeah.
My therapist at the time, I was like 11. This is like a couple of years like after the fact that I had recorded the album. My therapist at the time, I showed it to him, and the look on his face, I felt I feel so bad for him looking back at it. It was like I don't have him anymore, but the look on his face was just pure confusion and just despair. Having me forcing him to listen to this god awful album that I had made, and well, I don't have it anymore. I wish I had it. I would honestly love to show it to people because it was just so hilariously bad. But no, I don't. That was like the first ever album I actually made.
I see. Okay. Okay then. I feel like this question I might save it for later. Actually. Next question. Moving on to your more later work as a Reirwg. Is that how it's pronounced? Reirwg?
It's Reirwg. It's a weird pronunciation. Reirwg. Yeah.
Reirwg. English. Yeah. Okay, listen. My defense: English is not my first language, so
It's basically just, it's not any language. I literally smashed on a keyboard and that's what came out. So.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I was about to ask, what does Reirwg mean? So.
Yeah, it means trash. Absolutely nothing.
It means nothing. Sorry, I don't speak Reirwg.
I don't speak either. I don't know where that came from.
Well, so Reirwg, what you've mentioned to me while we were while I was preparing and researching for this interview, you said to me that your album under that alias Archives is like one of your most important pieces of music. Why would you say that's the case?
That's a beautiful question to me. 2023. October 1st, 2023, I believe that's when that came out, that album. I had worked on it. Let's start at the beginning. I started the whole Reirwg thing in 2021 because I was 13. I was super into ambient, super into Brian Eno, the works of Brian Eno,
I see.
William Basinski, all kinds of very cool ambient artists. Tangerine Dream, just very, very great stuff to me. I still love their music. I still listen to Eno. Music for Airports is a beautiful album. Discreet Music is a beautiful album. Amazing. But I'm getting ahead of myself now. But like, I was so enthralled by their music. I was like, oh, I got to create my own ambient because that's how my thought process was. Oh, someone does it, I got to do it too to see how I'm able to do it and if I'm even good at it. But I had made the first two Reirwg albums. They were fine, but I was younger. But I think I started recording archives in 2021. I started recording archives when I first started making ambient, and it was just it was very very a lot of sampling, a lot of random stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
2022 came around, and that's when I was really working hard on it. I was doing a lot of synth work. I was collaborating with a bunch of musicians, as you know, on that album. There's a lot of people on that album. Colson Dilbeck, he's a phenomenal guy, very great guy. I love him. Very good friend of mine. Um, Beautiful vocals on that album. Very proud of his work. I remember I met up with him on Discord. Uh, he was doing a little mini concert, and it was very meaningful to me to hear that because I felt like I needed that voice on an album. I needed some kind of vocal, and that's the only vocal I think I've ever put on those ambient albums. But Archives is very special to me because a lot of it was recorded during a time where I was not doing so well. I was
Oh.
very depressed. I was very bad mentally. I was coming out of a very bad relationship at the time. Uh, terrible, just terrible stuff all around going on. Divorces and stuff. And I was just,
Divorces?
my parents divorced at the time as well. So that was hard on me.
Oh.
But it's a very personal album to me. I feel the music comes from a very dark place, and I honestly kind of have a hard time listening to it now because it's such a time capsule of such a dark point in my life. But I love talking about it because it's such a meaningful album to me, and it means a lot to other people. It's helped a lot of people out with their own stuff. I think it's a very beautiful, meaningful album. I feel we could take our darkness and just push it somewhere to where we can use it in a good way to make some very beautiful music.
That was probably the most beautiful way I think I've ever heard anyone describe their own album. Holy shit. That's wow. Well, since you love the album so much, I have great news for you because these next few questions are actually related to that album. So the lyrics of Archive Part One that were done by Colson.
Mm.
Do they have any? Were they improvised on the spot by him, or is there a deeper meaning to them?
I feel he definitely wrote it very much thinking about it. Like I told him, I really want this to be impactful, meaningful to me, And some of the lyrics were actually taken from a friend of mine that I had in a band. We were in a band together, but he, I showed him some of the lyrics. He switched them around, took them, made his own thing out of it. But a lot of it is also very deeply personal to him, what he was feeling at the time and what I was feeling at the time, how he was inspired by my own feelings and thoughts. So it's completely not improvised. Um, but he was very proud of it. I was very proud of his work, and I'm still very proud of his work on it. I think he did a beautiful job.
I see. I see now. Well, moving on to a different track from the album, track 5, "There Is Darkness All Around Us." Would you say that track was like heavily inspired by the Caretaker, and is
Yep.
yeah, definitely, it definitely does sound a lot like that album. So that's why I was wondering that.
I was a big Caretaker
Yeah,
fan at the time, yeah.
are you still a big Caretaker fan?
Oh, yes, I love his music. He's brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant guy.
Okay. Well, since we're you already talked about that a little bit about the development of archives, but this goes for just in general about Reirwg and alongside and maybe some other albums if you want to talk about those. But uh, what can you tell me a little bit about how these albums are made and how you make these sort of ambient albums?
A lot of them are made from synthesizer patches I've had on my phone. They're all made on my phone. All my albums have been made on
On
my
your
phone except for
on your phone?
obviously, yeah,
Oh
the
my!
demos of album was the only one so far. I made
Wow.
that all on tape recorder, of course, but because I don't have like my major motto with music is you got to use your own resources, and that's what I've had for years. That was my own resource, was my phone, my own. I had a keyboard, and I have different apps with synth patches and stuff. So that was basically what I used for most of it. GarageBand, BandLab was to use for mixing, editing, all processing stuff, and a lot of basically all of archives was made in GarageBand and using different synths from that app and using different synths from other apps and all kinds of stuff on my phone. But all of it was done on my phone. Yeah.
Oh, oh my god! Wow, all that on your phone. Holy shit! Phew. Well, I'm actually kind of in the lost for words for that fact. Holy fuck!
It's a lot to process
It's,
because I feel a lot of people. I've had a lot of resilience with my music, and I've had a lot of trial and error with it being on my phone. Oh my god, especially the Anteater Clubhouse album.
oh,
That was probably the hardest album to make on my phone. It
oh,
was so annoying and such a long, boring process that I just did not want to finish it anymore. So that's why it's kind of like self-titled like a unfinished album because it really is kind of unfinished because I just got so tired of working on it. Like a lot of stuff that I work on, I really got to work through that pain and annoyance to really get something good out of it.
so that's actually gonna be one of my follow up questions. I was gonna ask why the album wasn't finished. So uh, you really are killing like two birds with one stone with like a lot of these questions. I-
I like
not that I'm
hey,
complaining. Not that I'm complaining though.
it's I like talking about this stuff. It's nice, It's good. It's a lot of history behind it for me.
Yeah, it's speaking of history, I've noticed that to get away from Reirwg a little bit here, you have a lot of your discography is like spread out through a lot of like different aliases and
Oh yeah.
all these different like musical projects. And so my question is, why do you have like so many aliases? Wouldn't it be more like simpler to like keep everything under a single alias, or is there a specific reason why you do that?
I feel like a lot of the aliases have all different separate meanings to me. Like Reirwig had the ambient. My now I'm under my birth name, obviously. Now I'm doing the folk outsider stuff. Every single alias that I've ever created under has had a separate meaning to it. And I feel I wouldn't make, the SpongeBob Noise album under Reirwig. I feel that would be very stupid and just
SpongeBob.
kind of not how I think of Reirwig as an artist and a character that I've created. all of my aliases were like kind of separate personas and characters that I've created of myself, and I feel one album on this alias wouldn't fit on another album of this alias, of a separate alias. So it's all very much this alias is for this alias is for that, Reirwg's for Ambient, Gwetty Nerman's was for Cape Experiments, stuff like that.
I see. I was actually, so you spoke earlier about your solo like folk music there. That's actually another question I was going to ask. What drove you to such a like vast I don't know what's the correct wording for it. Sonic disconnect is, but I'm not sure if that's the correct
Yeah, no,
usage.
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
It's very much
yeah.
it's very jarring.
What drove you to like such a change between ambient like electronic music to all of a sudden just like folk, the folk like early Daniel Johnston stuff. What drove you to that?
I feel as the year, like I said, when I was doing Reirwg, when I first started it, I was 13 years old. I was a stupid 13-year-old kid. I thought I was doing, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a really good ambient artist. But I feel as time went on, Archives came out, Enterprises came out, which is Enterprise is another wonderful album. Love that. Then I put out my fifth and um now my sixth album's coming out soon under Reirwg, which is going to be the final Reirwg album. Will be the sixth album. But I feel as the years have gone on, I just felt more and more detached from making ambient, and more just it just felt more unenjoyable to me as the albums went on. I just I don't have the passion and drive for it as I used to. I listen
Mm.
to I've gotten into totally different new music. I still love ambient. Ambient's a beautiful genre, but very much like you said, heavily inspired by the works of Daniel Johnston and just outsider music in general. I feel that stuff has such a passion behind it
I
and
see.
such just deepness and connection to your own personal struggles and thoughts. So I felt it was the demos of album was really what I wanted to do with my music and what I wanted to do continuing forward. I felt it was more meaningful to me to continue on with doing this folk kind of thing than continuing on with the Reirwg and the ambient and all that stuff.
I see. I see. Wow. Well, actually, you mentioned Daniel Johnston there, so this actually is a perfect transition to my next question here. I can very easily tell that Daniel Johnston is like a very major influence on your more modern work, at least.
Oh yes.
Alongside, you've also mentioned Bixby. Bixby, I don't know if that's
Yes.
Dave
Oh man,
Bixby.
Dave Bixby. He's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So they inspired you a lot, but on your little website page there, on your straw page there, you also mentioned that you've been inspired by other outsiders. So that's what my question is. What other outsiders did inspire you?
Well, the Shags, honestly, I love the Shags. They're really great. Gary Wilson is another one. His music's very interesting to me. Captain Beefheart, I guess you could put in there. Frank Zappa had some
Uh,
interesting stuff in that kind of vein. Maybe not musically, but just more inspiring to me as a person. I think outsider art is just such a beautiful thing because
mm,
it's really creative, and I feel I can attach a lot of very deep personal struggles and personal thoughts to it. Demos of is a very, very, very deeply personal album to me. A lot of the lyrics are a lot of stuff I've struggled with. A lot of those little, you know, people would probably call it stupid little blips of audio resembling, older Daniel Johnston songs. But like, like Fire in My Head, a lot of the like Room, um, a lot of those like little blips of audio are very deeply personal to me. Very all just stuff. Like also, I'm Not in Love Anymore. That's another one from that album that I feel are just they're all distinct things that I've experienced. But I'm very inspired by the works of different outsider musicians, like I said, Gary Wilson, Shags, Captain Beefheart. Um, it's probably a terrible one to mention, but if Charles Manson never became a cult
Mhm.
leader and an awful idiot, he actually would have made a brilliant outsider musician. Because his album that he made in 1970 is actually quite decent,
Oh yeah,
but he's a terrible, terrible human being that did terrible things to people.
yeah, yeah.
So, but he could have been something decent of himself, but he kind of threw that away.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely agree. Charles Manson's music is absolute is fucking amazing. Definitely. You look at your Game Girl in particular is a really good song, but that's so. Uh, I've also so while on the topic of your demos album, I would also like to I would also like to ask throughout the whole album, there's just kind of this sort of like weird like gnawing noise. That's like machinery like sounding gnawing. There's kind of like what the hell is that? What's going on there?
That's all from tape because I recorded the whole thing on tape recorder. I have a very, very, very old tape recorder.
Uh,
Surprisingly still works, but yeah, that's all the tape mechanisms and all that. It's very hard to get rid of that sound, but I actually kind of enjoy it. It
it's
kind of gives like a bit of a aesthetic pleasing, but also kind of grating aesthetic, adding to the outsider feel of it. But yeah, that's all tape mechanisms and stupid, crappy machinery from
mm.
tape recorders.
Okay, okay then. I actually also really like that noise. It is a really good noise. I feel like that description is very accurate to that noise. Uh, I also made a little mistake earlier because that question about the outsiders was supposed to be a two-part question, and I was supposed to. So let's go back to that real quick.
All right.
The second part of that question was going to be so we talked about what outsiders inspired you, but now here's the question: what insiders inspired you?
Insiders.
Yeah.
Um, I love. Jeez, oh my god, that's such a loaded question because there's so many. It's honestly hard to answer. Well, I guess I could say REM was a major one for me.
Ooh.
REM, huge, amazing band. Radiohead, they're brilliant. Talking Heads, a little more out there, but their music's brilliant. Remain in Light is a beautiful album. I love Aphex Twin, Beatles, Deftones. Again, Brian Eno, David Bowie, Melvins. They're brilliant bands, artists. Ween, another one that I love. Love Ween. I guess I could give some albums that have inspired me too. Pet Sounds is a big one. Beach Boys, Pet Sounds, Paranoid, Black Sabbath, The Doors. Their first two albums are very inspiring to me. Nick Drake's music's very inspiring to me. Pink Moon, his first two albums as well are very
Mm.
great. Um, Led Zeppelin have been very inspiring. The Strokes, Velvet Underground, White Light. That album is brilliant. A lot of that, a lot of a lot of music, but again with Brian Eno, going back to his music, Before and After Science is a phenomenal, phenomenal album. Discrete music again with ambient music. Those are just two albums from him that I love. But I'm very, very inspired by all that kind of stuff. Rush too. Caress of Steel is a brilliant record, even though a lot of people kind of crap on it. But great, great music all in all. Very, very, very great.
Okay. Now going back to the demo tapes real quick. The demo album that you released, because that's what was supposed to be my transition to this next question. But this next question is a bit of a short one. But on your straw page again, I noticed this like alternative cover of that album.
Yeah.
Was this going to be the original cover of that album, or?
Yes and no. That was just kind of an idea of what I wanted to have the cover look like. Very crudely drawn out, but it was a thought. There was a thought there behind it that I was like, oh, maybe this will be the cover art. But you know, I obviously didn't choose that as the cover art. I just wanted something drawn out on paper. The actual cover art that now exists was drawn out, colored on paper all by me. I wanted that very homemade style. So I feel that alternative cover art was kind of like a little crude thing to kind of represent that, what I wanted to do with the cover art, which I ended up doing.
Okay. Okay, then. Do any of your other albums also have these sort of like alternative cover arts that, alternative cover arts that you were? I'm losing my wording here. Jesus, sorry. I don't have this question written down, so it's hard for me to explain what I mean. But
All right.
do any of your other albums also have like sort of these early ideas for cover arts that you had? Do you still have any of those around, if they exist at all?
I would have to go look for them, but there was Archives has some cover arts that were used, but for back cover arts and inside cover arts, not the main cover art, but Archives has some. You could look at the Bandcamp. I think there's the cover arts on there. Discogs also. I have the cover arts of Archives on there. There was an very old album that was originally going to be the Reirwg second album instead of meditation music. It was called John, and it was a very stupid cover of. It was like an edit of John Lennon's face. I could try to pull it up. Let me see. But there was like, there's a few of those lying around. If you can take the time to find them. There's quite a few of those alternative cover arts that I've done for some of my albums. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to the next question here. What's the next question I've written down here? What the fuck? I don't. So there's this like note I've written down here. This isn't a question. But it says ask about the unicorn gif. What? What the fuck do I mean by this? What unicorn gif? What?
I don't know.
Okay, moving on to the next question then. So on your straw page again. So we're back to straw page again. You mentioned that you were a part of a band called EGM.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't find any on your archive page. I couldn't find any mentions of any albums. Were there any albums from EGM?
It was Electric Glass in Mars. They decided to go with EGM, so I've always abbreviated it like that. I don't know why, but yeah, it's Electric Glass in Mars. You can find it on the archive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Electric Glass in Mars. We recorded about 12 albums together, a couple EPs. They're very crudely done. I'm not very proud of them, but I look on them in a good way. I feel, it's very old music that I've done, but yeah, it's not bad. It was definitely a part of my music career, and I don't mind talking about it. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about it. It was just 3 guys, me and a couple other guys. We were just doing silly little electronic music. Some of it came out good, some of it came out bad. You know, we had fun with it. The first album, this is a funny story.
Uh,
Oh my god,
yeah.
the first album was excruciating to record. I stayed up all night. It was the whole album was done in a one session thing. We all stayed up all night together, and we were all passed out by the time we had put it out on Bandcamp. We were just knocked out. It was all done in one night.
You.
Never again would I ever do an album
Holy
like that. I don't know why it was done like that, but it was done like that. And, you know, that's lesson learned right there. Lesson learned.
Definitely. So, yeah, we spoke of EGM, so I might as well bring up another band / group that you were part of. The Balls Project. What the hell was that all about?
That was oh man. So, good friend of mine, DVD Movies. He made that whole thing. That was, oh my god, I can't believe I'm talking about it. That was forever ago. Basically, 2021, 2022, we were in this Pink Floyd server on Discord. Me, a couple friends, and DVD Movies. He's a great guy. Good musician, very interesting noise musician. He makes a lot of cool stuff. I love his work. I think he's really great. But he was very trolly back then, and he definitely showed that. He wanted to show that through the music. So we did The Last Refuge, Sound System, and The Balls Project. Those were two projects that were just us completely just being idiots and just making weird meme music for of stuff from the 70s, Pink Floyd, Alan Parsons Project, whatever we could find on our hands. Jethro Tull, beautiful album titled "Thick as My Balls," I think.
Thick as my balls.
Yeah, that was an album title, definitely. You know, just very silly stuff like that. And last Refuge Sound System was like we would all get together in voice chat in a Discord server, and we would just jam it out and make really stupid noises. You know, someone would have Big Bang Theory on in the background or an episode of whatever kind of show. It's just complete nonsense musically, but very, very fun to make. Not so fun to listen to, but you know, we all have those albums. You know, you have that grand pencil case.
Case, yeah, the pencil case album, yeah. Actually, so you mentioned it in your album. Oh no, you mentioned before. You mentioned that on that album, someone was playing Big Bang Theory in the background, which is also a very nice transition to my next question. Do you think anyone will like ever sue you over some of the shit you've been doing, like for example the Gwetty Nerman stuff, or like I don't know, DreamWorks suing you over reciting the B movie script? Do you think that's a possibility that'll ever happen?
I mean, it's a possibility. But I feel that music is so hidden and just like I don't really show it off a lot. A lot of that music I try to keep as hidden as possible. I don't want it to get too popular, whereas I could get sued. But, you know, there is always that possibility, yeah, unfortunately. But I feel, you know, there's so many artists out there, so many outsider artists out there who've sampled thousands and thousands of media, and it's like you just go on the internet and find random albums that will be just terrible, like a Drake and Josh. There's an album that someone made years ago that's like a Drake and Josh vaporwave album from clips and samples of Drake and Josh, and it is the funniest thing ever made. And they've never gotten sued. Astonishingly, they never got sued for it. and it was like mega popular too, millions of views, millions of listens. But like, there's always a possibility of that. I try not to do that as much anymore. Use all those samples, but things happen, and I do use a lot of sampling in my music, so always a possibility.
No, it's suit over the B movie.
Yeah, I like to shout out in this interview a good friend of mine who did that. Gabby, if you're listening to this, whenever this comes out, great, great, great friend. She did that little B movie rendition, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was definitely, I was like, she had sent me a voice recording of her screaming the B movie script, and I was like, oh, I gotta put that in an album. That's gonna be beautiful. That's gonna be amazing. I need that in an album. That's gonna be so funny. And we got together and we recorded it, and it came out, and now it's on the album. So
Amazing. Amazing, really. Now, these are going to be the last few questions I have here. This is I have written down here, and we are currently reaching like 40 like 45 minutes here. We're at 41 minutes right now. Holy shit! Probably the longest interview I think I've ever had, even longer than the Jay Manson one. So, anyways, now you've released on average. I did the math. I actually did the math. I told you I'd do it. On average, without counting the current year, 2026, you've released on average 14 albums per year. How does since 2021? How does that make you feel?
A bit sickening, honestly. I feel a lot of those early albums are not very great, and you probably noticed that as the years went on, it went from 2021 was like 20 albums, 2022 was like 20 albums, 2023 was like 10 albums, 2024 was like 6 albums, 25 was 6 albums. So I've very much heavily reduced the number of albums. I feel it got to a point where I was getting way over my head with the music, and I feel I was like, I wanted to make actual good music and not just spam albums over albums over albums. I feel it's better to create a lot of music, but also create something that actual people will actually listen to, instead of the Caretaker and SpongeBob Noise album.
The classics.
Yeah, I feel, those albums are very much, they exist, but I can't say I'm too. I don't want to big them up too much.
Actually, that actually does bring me to my next question here. A bit more of a positive one here. Which out of all the albums that you've produced, which one is your favorite?
Man, probably.
Besides Archives, obviously.
Oh yeah. Okay, now we're getting into it. Okay. Demos of is a big one. I'll give a few. Demos of the whole Gwetty Nerman's tape trilogy. I'm very proud of. I've trolled a lot of people with those tapes. I love the cover arts for them. I think they're funny. They're beautiful, master. Just very memey, trolly stuff. Very proud of that. I also think Enterprises is another Reirwg album that I really love. The Spine Tingling Fetish Brothers, which, as said before, my friend Gabby, I made that with. That's a big one I'm proud of. Songs in Limbo is a huge one I'm proud of. I love that one. I made that under the fake name Joseph Thomaston. That was recorded in like a whole day session of me just playing on a guitar, cheap old guitar. Um, and it came out really good to me. I'm very proud of it. Rotten Apples for the Homeless by Turbo Smalls. Me and my friend Sid made that one. That was a big one for me. I think that's about it. There's, more albums that I like, but I feel those are like the ones that are really like, yeah, I really did something special with this. Those are the ones I really think back on and be like, yeah, this is good.
Well, earlier on the interview, you mentioned that you are currently working on the sixth and final Reirwg album.
Yes.
Now, my question here is, what can we expect from you in the future? What stuff are you working on right now, and what can we expect in the future here?
Right now, I'm working on again, as you stated, my sixth and final Reirwg album. Finally, ending. The
It's
journey's ending.
the world is finally
God,
coming to an end. It's happening.
we're all
God,
doomed. We're all
God has
dying
come
now.
to smite us. It's happening.
It's called the sixth final album is called Various Relapse Continuations. I'm very proud of it. It's 19 bits of ambient audio. It's a lot of very cool droney, synthy stuff. I think it's a great way to end the project. This year I also have the second Turbo Smalls albums coming out that I'm very proud of. There's a lot of great stuff from that. I There's an album under Joseph Thomaston that's probably coming out this year. A second Spine Tingling Fetish Brothers album is coming out. Expect another Anteater Clubhouse album to come out. Because the first one did well, unexpectedly well. So I am working on the
Well,
second one now. But that's kind of it
it's
for
good.
album wise. But I feel I'm just always trying to better myself musically. I'm always trying to perfect my craft. I I get very disappointed when I make an album and someone's like, "Oh, I didn't like it," or "It sucks." I'm always trying to make good music that people actually enjoy. I feel the demos album I'm immensely proud of. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful album, and it's so deeply personal to me, and I'm very glad people enjoy it who have heard it. And just yeah, that's basically all I got to say on that.
All right. Now comes the final and most important question. This is the most important question. This is the final one. It will affect how your career will go on in the future.
Oh my.
What is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life is to be respectful to other people. Don't hate on others just because they're different than you. You know, be respectful, but be honest in yourself. I think there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world right now, and we all need uplifting. We all need someone, a voice who is going to bring our spirits up. A lot of people are being hurt right now in America. I feel very terrible things are going on, but we just need to keep going through and peacefully peacefully protest what's going on in America, the terrible killings and the terrible things that are being done. Um, I'd say meaning of life is just keep on trucking, keep on rocking in the free world and doot 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 doot. No, but like one major thing I want to say to everyone out there is you are loved. There is meaning in life. If you ever feel like there isn't meaning in life and you can't live anymore and you are not doing well, I love you. You're a brilliant person. I think the world needs to hear that. protect transgender youth, protect trans lives, protect all the LGBTQ people out there because they are fighting for freedom, and I hope and pray that they're gonna get it someday because it's tough out there. It's a tough world out there for them, and I just hope they keep trucking on and keep believing in themselves. And I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of everybody who is out there fighting for a cause. And that's about all I got to say. And
Um,
I think one thing I do want to do, I hope this is okay with you.
yeah.
This is a never before seen or heard thing in your
Oh.
interviews, but I thought I'd want to give like a little bit of a performance on guitar,
Oh
if that's
wow.
all right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Just
But
so.
what else do you have to say? What else do you have to say?
Um. If I'm being honest with you, I was actually setting you up for a joke there with that final question. But now I feel like I look like the biggest asshole if I did that joke.
No. Look, bring on the jokes.
Okay. I was
We need
going.
to have a funny moment here. Come on. I got
Okay.
serious for a second. We gotta have something funny.
I was going to say that you gave the wrong answer and that your public execution is going to be on July 1st.
I can't wait for that. I hope you join me for making the god awful pencil case.
Awful. Yeah, awful,
I'm
awful
joking.
album.
I'm
I
joking.
deserve it.
It was a decent it was a decent album. All right.
It was.
I don't mind it. I
It
think
was horrible.
sitting through almost an hour of that was.
Hard.
I don't know why I made myself do that last night, but I did it. So can't rewind the time. So.
All right, now give us the performance. Sing it, Sinatra.
Sing it, Sinatra. So let's just gotta get ready.
I'm going to mute my microphone so people can only hear you instead of
Yay.
all right.
But I genuinely, I thank you so much for this interview. It means a lot to me. I'm very proud of this song that I'm gonna do. I might do a song or two, but this is the main song I'm gonna do. Yes. But thank you for this opportunity to interview me. This is a song that's gonna be on the upcoming Turbo Smalls album. If you don't know Turbo Smalls, me and my friend Sid, we are a group, a duo, and we make beautiful music. And this is a beautiful song. And it doesn't have a definitive title yet, but it has definitive lyrics and definitive chords, so I can definitively sing it for you. So we will sing it and we will have fun. So this is a little song I wrote. I gotta prepare myself. I hope you enjoy this mini performance and it doesn't wear you out too much. If you can hear me. Here we go.
Bit of an interlude, but the following performance will be louder than the rest of this interview. So if your speakers are turned way up because how quiet the rest of the interview might have been, then I recommend you turn them down slightly here. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy Thomas's upcoming performance.
There was a man who said he could sail the sea, and he told us of his life. There was a war, there's no miss. There was a war that killed all the generals and pastors. We had to cry, but it talking, keep the boat mighty steady, 'cause heaven sees me longer. While there's an iceberg coming, we all scream in terror. Lifeboats coming out onto the surface, nearly missed the water. Now we're stuck, yes, we're stuck at sea, like a land in the water. This is the end of our journey. I need to write this magic story. We will all die alone. We'll see you someday. You and me in gray dismay. This is a part of the song where you can sing along if you want. You don't have to. Unmute your mic if you want to, but you can sing along. It's a little sing along part. Here we go. Hold on just 1 second. Here we go. Oh no, you see fall from slightly on the morning sun. And you know, the morning love is bright. Change of ways. We're all down I gotta redo that. I have to end it there. Thank you all.
Okay. Holy shit, that was a very long song. Wow.
I had to cut. Well, I did a couple of songs, but I had to cut one short.
I did a couple of songs. I thought that was just one long song. Holy shit.
No.
Okay. Well, what songs did you perform there?
I performed one song. I performed the Seaman's story was the first song. The second song was the I think I did the song Always Together. I did Orange Moon. The set list was Seaman's story. I did Orange Moon, Always Together, and then half a story to the street. But I'm short on time now, so I gotta go.
All right.
Thank you very much for this.
It was very nice having you here and having you perform there. Wow. Oh my god. Well, thank you very much again. That's all there is. Good night, New York City. And good night.
Good night.
Good night, Tom. Do indeed. I'm not the wrong interviewer. Welcome back here. Unexpected. Thomas came up to me and was like, "Hey, can I redo the song?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So here he is. He's going to redo Stories of the Street, and he's also going to perform "Say No to Love and Drugs."
Yeah, and you could just tack this on to the archive file.
I will. I will. Like at the very end there, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas LaPointe. Now allow me to mute myself and you just do your thing.
There's 2 songs, so yes, just 2 songs. Here we go. I wonder all these how it's going now that we're free. All on it's marching still, now we're coming home. Lady, where's your lips so fan rain around your wheel? You're lost into your suffering and your pleasures of sin. It's not easy to get married and both the parents say. Can you tell them fairy tales on both sides of the glass? Now the end with its borders all in black and white. And what I feel with blueprints, what I feel with night. Come with me, my little one, we will fly. Growing grass and apples there to keep all the animals away. If by chance I waken at and ask you who I am, or take me to the slaughterhouse, I will wait there with the lamb. One hand on the hexagram, one hand on balances on the wishing well that all men call the world. We are so small between the stars, so large against the sky. Lost among the subway crowds, I try to catch your eye. There's a song I wrote and it's called Say No to Love and Drugs. You should say no to sex, drugs, and alcohol and all the things in the world that are evil and bad. Say no to love and drugs. Say no to love and drugs. What you can do be at home. Say no to love and drugs. When the cigarette, the way we have to do sex. Innocent man. two of both of those songs. Take two of Stories of the Street. It's take two. I'm gonna get comfortable. Take two. Take one was good, but you know, take two can always be better. Cadillacs go creeping down through the night. Godly out windows fill this Cadillac shows. Yes, one end on my suicide, one end on the rose. I know you heard it, so now and no much. See, they all broken half in the middle. Let me ask you one more time, oh, children of the dust. Are these monsters who are shrieking now, or do they speak for us? Will all these how it goes, now that we are so. While the army is marching still, that we're coming. Lady, your neck so flannel, stranger at the wheel. You won't look into yourself, bringing your pleasures all the sea. Each lost is giving back from both the south. Never tell them fairy tales on both sides. Now we're filled with his orders, all in black and white. Gonna fill with blueprints, gonna fill with light. Come with me, my little one. We will find boys and rats and apples there to keep all the apples. Everybody ends out awake at night, and I ask you who I am. Will take me to the slaughterhouse. I will wait there with plan. One hand on the hexagram, and one hand on the wall. Now it's on no wishing well that all men call the world. We are so small between the stars, so large against the sky. And lost among the subway crowds, I try to catch your eye. This is a song I wrote, and it's called Say No to Love and Drugs. You should say no to sex, drugs, and alcohol, and all the things in the world that are evil and bad. Say no to love and drugs. Say no to love and drugs. Do what you can to be a kind man. Say no to love and drugs. Away end of my concert. Thank you.
Wowie, zowie. Well, thank you very much for this. Yeah, yes, thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, that's that. In the background there, while you were performing, I was testing to see just how large the file is, and in the most losses I could get it, in the most lossy I could get it to be before it's like beyond incomprehensible, it was still over 30 megabytes. So holy shit, this is a big interview. And that's not even counting the current performance you just did there. So wow, it was a pleasure having you. It was a pleasure interviewing you. It was a pleasure to hear you perform in real time here.
Thank you for your time, and I want to say, go support his music.
Mine?
I Second Art is a beautiful album.
Thank you.
I think it's brilliant. It's so good. I think You're Dumber Than a Lime is the best song on it.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I wanna say a little passage from it.
It's not that way.
It's beautiful. The Adam Sandler line was brilliant on there.
Adam Sandler. All right, well, thank you, Thomas LaPointe. It was great having you on here. Good night for New York City, for real this time.
Good night in New York City, all of the Poland, everyone.
Yes,
there.
except for Danzig. Fuck everyone in Danzig. Fuck all of you.
We hate Danzig.
Fuck Dansk. Yeah. All right, that's the end. Goodbye.
All right, that's it.